So we had the idea of focusing on the nature of flux and change and unpredictability, both in life and in drawing and in teaching. And I suppose the idea was to get everyone to think about drawing as in terms of flux and change and the unpredictable nature of drawing, both in our teaching practice and in our art practice. And we were sort of wanting to use the landscape of the river in particular to engage with a subject matter that is always changing and yet has a constancy. The idea of drawing water is just really challenging, and it's maybe not, we can't observe the river, but we can observe the feeling of drawing the river and chase that feeling of trying to capture it.
We had a sort of shared concern that this is a very hot period of global history, environmental crises, and both kind of at a sort of meta level and a micro level. And as professional artists, that we really want to reflect moments of stress and how can you cope with change, necessary evolution, and change being really beneficial and constant, but actually sometimes threatening.
We'd like people to consider ways that they used to work and if that's something that they want to discard or completely move away from, and to ask, maybe this is something that's always present, even though we have changed, our former ways of working are still with us and shape our drawing.
I really enjoyed those conversations. They felt very true. What's been a revelation in their practice or a revelatory moment in their life? It's also to ask them, what's been the crisis? Like, what have you come through?
We tried to insert at the very beginning quite a heavy philosophical download about Heraclitus and the nature of change, and that you are never the same person who comes to the same river, and the river is not the same.
Going to the river, there's that immediate challenge of how do I capture something that's forever moving, and it's sort of drawing the experience of looking at something, and it's still drawing from observation, but it's a sort of an observed memory that's from a view that's changing by the second.
It's nice just to go into nature, and Mark taking us along a route that perhaps we hadn't been down as well. It was really nice going by the river as well. I found myself working a lot more loose. There was even one point where I kind of turned the drawing upside down, like pushed it into the elements, and yeah, it was nice. It was quite an experimental breath of fresh air.
We talked about encouraging people to draw with the materials around them, so including some of the pigment or the water from the river. If there was rain, to encourage the rain to influence the drawing, to take the drawing back, to reduce the drawing, to allow for those surprises. And then we also talked about going from outside, drawing outside, to returning to the studio, because that's the time when ideas formulate and often big decisions are made.
As you put it so well, Bill, that it's the gaps between activity where the mind actually is really feeling for what might be possible. And that's such a powerful thing